I've been with KSI Press, and I'm here with Jack Shore, who returns to action next weekend on September 4th. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, mate. Settling in, getting over the jet lag, getting some training done. So all good this end.
Jack, what the hell has been going on? What the hell's been going on?
You tell me, man. They all keep pulling out. I don't know what's going on. We can't get no one locked down. I think I was saying earlier, in 4 UFC fights, so obviously this will be my fourth fight. I've had 10 different names in 4 fights. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the new haircut or the fact that I'm from Wales or wow, the wrestling or I don't know, but they all keep pulling out. But thankfully, touch wood, we've got someone in, and we still get the fight.
I mean, Shore. I mean, you're the Wales Khabib. I mean, so obviously they're shaking, right?
Gotta be. That's what it is. I'm gonna have to speak to Bisping and the comment and say stop calling me the Welsh GSP because now no one wants to dance.
Yeah, I mean, what? Okay, first, talk me through a little bit of it. First, when your first opponent Syed pulled out, what went through your head?
All right, so I had pulled out. It probably would have been 3 weeks ago, say 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and I just thought, I'm used to pullouts, and I was just like, mate, there's probably visa issues or an injury or whatever. So I was like, it is what it is. I was obviously gutted because I think that fight would have showed how good I actually am. It would have pushed me hopefully towards a fight with someone in the rankings. And there was a lot of hype about the fight. Now, as soon as it got announced, everyone was sort of all over it. Everyone was excited to see it, like a clash of styles, two up and comers. So I was gutted, but I thought, look, there's still 3 weeks to go. There's still plenty of time. They'll get me someone. I thought, whether it's a known name or someone off the contender series or whatever. I thought they'll get me a match. So about 5 or 6 days went by. Then they obviously matched me with the Georgian kid. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, so I won't do it though, no disservice. So they matched me with him. And it was like, yeah, like they text, Graham messaged me, my manager, Graham Boylan, was like, right, we got this guy. He's 12-0 LF. I was like, look, it doesn't matter. Just as long as it's confirmed and it's a fight, I was like, just get onto them for the contract. Let's get it signed in. So that was all that. And I mean, to be honest, like stylistically, that guy was a complete different fight to Nurmagomedov. And I've gone from fighting like a flashy striker to a guy who wants to take you down and submit you. So it was a change of styles, but it's nothing I haven't seen before. I've fought a variety of different styles through my amateur career and Cage Warriors and whatever. So then we flight to Vegas Wednesday. I land in Dallas. The boys sit down, so I'm eating my chicken wrap that I prepped, obviously, because I'm on a weight cut. I go to the toilet. I come back and sit down. My old man goes, check your phone. So I pick my phone up. I got a text off Graham to say the kid's out. We're working on a replacement. So obviously straight away, I've seen red. I'm furious. I'm like, what do you mean he's pulled out? It's like he's accepted a fight a week ago. How was he pulled out? He's like, look, don't worry about none of that. He said, we just need to worry about the replacement. So, straight away I'm scrambling because I'm like, I want to fight on the 4th. It's like, I've trained to fight on the 4th. I'm here now in Vegas. I don't want to be one of those guys that's got to spend weeks on end here because of pullouts and stuff. I was like, great, it's got to be the 4th. I was like, I'll go up to featherweight and fight. I'll do a catch weight, whatever. I was like, but I've got to fight on the 4th. So he was like, right, just leave it with me. He's like, calm down, leave it with me. And literally within an hour then, he sent me, what's the new guy's name?
Liudvik.
Liudvik. So he sends me Liudvik, and he's like, "You good with him?" And I didn't even click on his tapology. I'm just like, "Great." I was like, "If he's definitely gonna fight and he's game to fight, just get me a contract and let's fight him." So right, he said I'm on the case. So then obviously my father and my coach Carl, who's with me here, start looking at him. Obviously he's out. I knew straight away he was out to the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't. So I've seen the one fight he had, the original fight. I hadn't watched his second fight. I was like, look, let's just take it and we'll game plan when we land the other side and whatever. So that's where we are. And obviously now we're Friday, so fingers crossed that's the end of that. And touch wood. Everyone know I'm touching wood here on this desk. That we don't get no more pullouts and we actually get the fight.
I mean, it's just insane. It's insane. We were joking off camera, but I mean, you had a really good fight camp, your last fight with no pull out, and now it's back to
It's
2020
back.
again.
The curse is back. The curse is back. The 2020 curse is back.
How many fighters pulled out of your 2020 fight exactly?
Let me think. So for Fight Island, I think Phillips was the one, two, three. Phillips was the fourth guy that I was going to fight. Then in November, I was obviously going to fight Taha. That had to be moved. I had to be moved because of the visa thing. They didn't want to move him. They wanted to keep him on the card. I got offered another two names that didn't take the fight. And then obviously the fight got pulled because they couldn't match me. And I was like, look, I can't do any more weeks of fight camp. My body's in bits. I had to sort of be selfish on now. And so that's like straight away, what's that? That's 7 there. That's 7 in 2 fights. And then obviously Hunter in the last fight, thankfully I didn't have no problems with that one. And now this one, we're talking, this is the third guy. And then, I mean, looking back to the London card got cancelled. So that was another guy I was meant to fight. And then even for my debut, I ended up fighting Hernandez, but that was like the second or third name that got offered before I actually got a contract. So I'm used to it by now. And then like, if you want to dive even deeper into it, right? If you want to dive even deeper into it, the fight before I won the Cage Warriors belt, I was actually meant to fight for the belt. The guy who I was due to fight, that was the third name. And then he pulled out the day before the weigh-in because of a brain scan incident. So the guy I fought was the fourth opponent then. And then if we want to go even further again, like a year prior to that, I fought an Italian guy. He was the third guy I was meant to fight. That one was on like fucking 3 days notice. So I'm used to pullouts, but like I just sort of thought once I get to the UFC, that'll be the end of it. You know, like if people are not game to fight, they'll be gone. I thought, but obviously not.
I mean, is there any hesitation ever to not take someone that you've never heard of? Like that Georgian guy is really like he's got a name behind him. I mean, was there any hesitation, or was it I'm fighting no matter what?
What do you think?
You're fighting no matter what.
Fighters, this is what I always say. Look, I come up in a gym where the mentality is fighters fight. If you want to be the best fighter in the world, you got to be able to beat anyone in that division. It's not about like, oh, well, this fight suits me better, but this guy's a different style to what I was training for. And my manager Graham and I'm sure even the UFC will vouch for this. Every single fight that I've ever been offered, there's never been like, oh, I don't know. There's always been, yeah, give me the contract. And Graham and Ian, the guys from Cage Wars, will tell you the same. In the 11 or 10 fights I had there was never an opponent they give me, and I was like, oh, nah, it needs to be someone else. If you're going to give me a name, then no matter what, I don't know if it's an ego thing or if it's like me being like mentally, like I'm a fighter at heart. So it's like, if you say you want me to fight this guy, then I've got to go out there and fight him. Because if I said like, no, I can't fight him, that's a bad fight, that would haunt me mentally. I would take that one to the grave. It'd be like, you fucking shit out of that fight. So it'd be like, if you offer me a name, I've got to fight. I've got to fight, as simple as that. And there's been guys who've obviously called me out and stuff, and they haven't come to me with a name yet. But every name I've ever officially been offered by a matchmaker, I've accepted, and it's always going to be the same. It's like this one, when they offered me this guy, it wasn't even a case of, oh, I don't know. It's like, yeah, let's go. And we're here now, so I haven't come all the way to Vegas not to fight, so let's get it booked in.
Welsh fighters are just built different, right?
That's it. We were built different in the valleys.
One final thing about the cancellation. London got canceled, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you wanted to fight in front of people, fans in. I mean, but you're back in Vegas. I mean, how does this all play with you too?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, like I always it would have been ideal to fight in London also, and it did gut me a little bit, because I think the UFC would have seen how much of a fan base and how much pull I've actually got in the UK. Like I'm not sure, like I've obviously sold out arenas in Wales, 4,000, 5,000 seats. So to go and fight in London 3 hours up the road, I would have took a couple of thousand there, even if they weren't Welsh, even English. I've got a good English following. I've got fans everywhere, all over the UK. And I think they would have actually seen how big I'm not sounding like a cocky guy, but like how big a deal I actually am in the UK when I fight. People come to watch, and the atmosphere with the Welsh fans is always insane. But I think I always sort of had in the back of my head, look, until they officially announce it, it could be Vegas. You know, I don't like time away from my family. I don't like to travel. You know, it would have been ideal for me to go away for 4 days and drive to the venue. You know, I miss home. I miss my girlfriend, my dog. But you know, it's a necessary sacrifice of war. At the end of the day, I've got to come out here. I'm here to do a job. I'm not out here for an all day and for a jolly. I'm here for business, and that's what I intend to do. And if that means I've got to spend 10 days away from my loved ones and away from my home, then I'll make the necessary sacrifice. But it's just a different, like obviously fighting in the Apex compared to fighting in front of 20,000 British fans is a completely different atmosphere altogether. But at the end of the day, like I keep saying, a fight is still a fight. You know, I've still got to go in there and get a job done, regardless of all the outside influence. Yeah, it would have been great, but you know, it is what it is now. I'm over it. I'm here in Vegas, and hopefully we'll get to do the London or the European thing next year.
You kind of talked on it, but like, do you believe that the UFC is under promoting you?
I don't think I don't think it's the UFC as such. I don't think they intentionally under promoting me. I just think, you know, with this card especially, I think obviously the pullouts haven't helped. I think if I had fought Nurmagomedov, I think we would have been on the main card without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, then you put me in against two relative unknowns. I get it. You know, I get it from a promotional standpoint, but it doesn't make no difference to me if I'm first on, last on. I keep, you know, in my head, eventually I'll be that guy main eventing or co-main eventing. And you know, the only way to get anywhere in this game, you can talk all the trash you want, but you got to keep winning. And as long as I keep winning, then I'll still be around. I'll still be moving up them rankings, and eventually I'll start getting to where I want to be.
And I mean, of course it's the UFC, but I mean, you have a bunch of fans, right? And fans know how talented and how good you are. So, I mean, is that kind of what you have in your back pocket too? Like, you might not be on the main card, but you have fans know you deserve to be there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even I've got obviously a massive fan base in the UK, but even online, like, you know, everyone talks about MMA Twitter these days, and the reception and the support I get off those guys. And I mean, like literally, I haven't got a clue who these guys are. You know, they've all got these crazy names and these display pictures. But like when I'm talking about these people to my friends, it's like I'm like, oh, this account, and they're like, who's that? I was like, oh, I don't know who he is, but I just know this is account. And they're all good crack and good banter. But they genuinely support me as well. Like when it's fight week, they're all like commenting and sharing and retweeting my stuff. So it is nice to see that I've got this following growing, obviously worldwide now, as well as in the UK. And like I said, there's only so long before the UFC will click onto that. And you know, obviously by me being on the prelims, I'm sure they can see that a lot of people are tuned in to watch my fight, you know, live. And eventually, you know, it's just gonna mean a matter of my British fans making the most of these early nights, because eventually you're gonna have to start staying up till 3-4 a.m. to watch me. So if I gotta say anything, it's to the boys back in Wales, make the most of these early fights whilst you can.
That's right. That's right. Before we talk about Liudvik, I do want to touch the Hunter Azure fight. It's been about 4 months. How did you feel about that performance?
Yeah, I was happy. I mean, initially coming out of the cage, for some reason in my head, like when I heard the split decision, I initially thought that wasn't a very good performance. But my coaches were like, just wait till you watch it back. Like, you know, I think you'll be surprised at how well you actually fought. And when I watched it back, obviously I was just happy that I got to display my wrestling, because in the lead up, the game plan was to keep the distance and strike. And as soon as we clinched up, I could feel I had the strength advantage, and I could feel like there was, especially on the cage, like all these state wrestlers and NCAA wrestlers, they're all elite guys, but they don't wrestle off the cage as well as I do, in my opinion. And all our wrestling exchanges sort of took place on the cage, because he wanted to throw down in the middle. I think I was having the better of the exchanges, and then when we was getting pushed to the cage, I was reversing him or taking him down. He didn't hit one takedown on me. So I'm glad I got to do justice for my wrestling coach there, and show that us Welsh wrestlers can hang with the best of them. But it obviously there was things that could have done better, things that could have went worse. But overall, it was a really good performance.
If you could take one thing away from that performance, what would it be?
Never leave it to the judges in Vegas. That's what that's what it would be, because I think that one judge who scored it to him was the only guy on the planet who watched the fight that gave him the fight. But no, in all seriousness, the one thing to take away, again, would to be is to have confidence in my skills, because going in, it was like, look, we want to avoid wrestling. We don't want to be on our back, or at least that's what I was thinking. So to have confidence in my own skills, the fact that I was able to take him down when I wanted to, and the fact that when I did end up on my back, I was able to get back up, reverse position. I stuffed all his takedowns. So it's all well and good everyone telling me your wrestling's like elite level, but until you sort of have that defining moment where you prove it to yourself, then it can take a bit of time to start believing it. But after that fight, I generally do believe that in the clinch, on the cage, I can cause problems for anyone in the division, whether it be like offensively or defensively.
You snapped your 5-fight finish streak. Are you are you looking to get back on your streak?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, every fight I want to finish. With that fight, when you fight a good wrestler like that, I just had to sort of grind it out and accept that I need to just take it on points, because he wasn't going away. And he was tough. In all fairness, you could tell he had the wrestling peg, because when I was getting him down, he was tough to sort of hold in position. Like, looking back now, there'd be certain things now I would do differently in the grappling exchanges. But to be honest, I want to finish this fight because, number one, the judges last time, like when you're talking about UFC, I mean, a win and a loss can be doubling your money or half in your money. So I don't want to let a judge who maybe is not seeing the fight how everyone or how they should be seeing it, I don't want to let that sort of take away from my ability to provide for my family and earn myself money. And also, a loss for my career is going to knock me back a few fights, whereas I want to keep the ball rolling. I want to keep moving up the ladder. So I'm coming to finish, and ultimately fans want to see finishes. I'm one of those guys. I don't want to be in the 3-round back and forth war. I always want to be the guy with a classy performance and who outclasses his performance and outclasses his opponent and who's better every way. So for me to finish, it just gives the fans paying. It gives them what they're looking for, in my opinion. So I'll be definitely looking to put this one away.
Liudvik, you kind of touched on it, but did you know anything about him when they said, here he is?
The only thing I knew was I remember watching his first fight in the Ultimate Fighter, and I remember thinking, I'm sure he's a wrestler, because I remember the kid he fought sort of outstruck him for a round, and then he managed to get a takedown and sort of just ride the fight out for the second 2 rounds. I hadn't watched his third fight. His second fight. Obviously, I've gone back and watched that now, but that was the first thing that popped in my head. He's a grinder. He's not very aggressive on the floor, but he's one of those guys, typical, wrestler. If he can get you down, he'll just do enough to hold you down and enough to win the round.
So you've had about a day, maybe like 17 hours to kind of study him a little bit. How do you like the matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup. He does have good wrestling. He comes forward. He applies a lot of forward pressure. He's not the world's best striker, but he comes forward throwing, so he's reckless. But I just think class-wise, I've fought guys where there's nothing he's going to throw at me that I haven't already seen before. I've fought guys, in my opinion, who are better level wrestlers than him and better level strikers than him. And I think wherever the fight goes and however he wants to fight the fight is going to play into my hands. If he wants to come forward reckless on the feet, then I'll get to show off some of my Muay Thai that I've been sharpening with my. It's great to be back working with my coach as well. I want to shout out Crew because we've been back working together now about 10, 12 weeks since the lockdown in Wales is gone. So, if he wants to come forward, I'll get to show off some of that Thai style. But if he wants to wrestle and we get into a wrestling exchange, then especially after my last fight, I don't see me having any problems. If he does take me down, is one thing taking me down, there's another thing keeping me down. So it's a good matchup for me. The fact that he comes off tough probably brings a few more eyes as well, because at least with this guy, people would know him from tough, whereas the last guy, to us, he's a good guy and a good level guy, but maybe the average person wouldn't know who he is. So in hindsight, maybe it worked out for better in terms of eyes on the fight.
Give me a prediction.
Prediction: I'm going first or second round finish. I'm confident in this one. Whether it be on the feet or on the ground, I think if we go to the ground, I'll be able to submit him. If he stays on the feet, I think I'll be able to do damage there, which probably will force him to shoot, being a wrestler, and maybe that'll lead to a submission. But I do see me finishing him, especially after going a decision the last one. I'm keen to get back to finishing and keeping my finish percentage. So we go for a finish first or second round.
Maybe get your first knockout in the UFC.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. To show that I can strike as well as submit guys. I know people know I can strike, but that knockout in the UFC is always one for the bucket list. So we'll see what happens. I'm not making no promises, but we'll see what happens.
I just got a couple more questions for you. Do you think you can get one more fight in if all goes well on Saturday or next Saturday?
We'll do our best, obviously, with the quarantine when we go back to the UK and stuff like that. I've got a holiday booked in November with my girlfriend, and I fear her a lot more than my opponents if I have to tell her that we're not going on holidays because I've got a fight. So if the holiday gets cancelled with COVID and stuff, then for sure. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'd love to get another one in before the end of the year. But if not, we'll get back out next year. Hopefully, a London card or a Dublin card or something like that. Now that we're turning it back to normality a little bit.
Rankings. Do you think a nice finish, let's say you go out there and you get a first round finish, do you think there's a possibility that you get a ranking or that you get a ranked opponent next fight?
Yeah, if I can get done like looking good with a good finish. I don't think I'll get a ranking, but I think hopefully a ranking will be next. I'll be asking for that anyway because I think if I had beaten Nurmagomedov, I would definitely fight for a ranking spot next. And I can only fight who they put in front of me. I'm still here. I'm still here to fight. I'm here for the day that they schedule me to fight. I haven't pulled out. I've done my part. So, it'd be nice to get rewarded for that. But we never know. And if I got to fight another two guys before I get my shot in the rankings, then that's what I'll do. But I'm eventually going to be coming for those well-known names. So whether that's one fight's time or 5 fight time, you'll definitely see me in the rankings eventually.
And finally, our guy Brock Slode, who will be Shore's Load next week, wants to know. He wants to know what your favorite Brock Lesnar moment is.
My favorite Brock Lesnar moment. There's a few. All right, we'll go one MMA and we'll go one UFC. The UFC Brock Lesnar moment is him rocking up to the DC Stipe fight in the suit and the cowboy boots and shoving DC flying across the octagon. You know that famous line? You know the fit, DC, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. So that's the ultimate in the UFC, the ultimate heel money, Brock. And in the MMA, I think one of the WWE videos I probably watched the most on YouTube is when he came back from the UFC and he just fucking F5 brought John Cena into oblivion and the crowd's going nuts. He comes out, he's jacked up, and he's screaming into the camera. So that's the one. Brock's a man. My wrestling coach, Carl Parker, he always says, if he could have had Brock Lesnar at 18, he'd have turned him into the best MMA fighter of all time. So shout out to Brock's Lord, shout out to Brock, and shout out to Carl Parker as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. If you want to plug your social media, plug your sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yes, catch me on the socials, Jack Show MMA. Jack Show MMA on Twitch now as well, guys. If you're into your gaming and you want to see Warzone played very badly, Brock's Lord is a regular viewer in every stream. So if you want to chat with me and him, get on there. And Jack Tank Show on YouTube as well. And of course, a big thanks to my coaches, Richard Shaw, Carl Parker, Crew Heem, Greg Carlo, Gary Lockett, all my teammates at Show MMA, and all my sponsors. They're all over my social media, so go and check them out as well.
Awesome. And good luck next weekend.
Thank you.